Well, I won't say that. Let me not draw a conclusion because first, sometimes discussing this issue at this time, I'm a member of the finance committee that is looking up to this. And let it not be a conclusion of the Senate on this issue. Number two is that all we wanted was a process like this, for the governors to have opportunity to go back and dialogue with their people, for the president to also have interface with a lot of people on this, to listen to people. From this agreement, I think the president listened to people. The governors also made their point. I think they can also well go back to tell their people that they are also representing the people. The same thing with the National Assembly members. Many of us were worried because if the way and manner it was going, it would be difficult to go back and start explaining. You know, we are politicians. There will be different conclusions at the end of the day. You will hear that in lots of places, even in religious institutions, people were already preaching because they didn't understand. They will just go there in the mosque and say, no, no, no. Anybody that was supporting this will declare him a kafir. You are infidel. So such things were there. And so in a democracy like our own, you need to allow people to get to know the basic. Allow people, like Prof has explained. This is an opportunity, people are listening. Many people will understand that. Now, the aspect of what you are saying, as a governor, as a listening governor, I'm talking about even the time that we had this, like I said. Let me give you an example. When I was chairman of the Northern Governors Forum, when I knew that there was going to be a problem of subsidy, when I knew that almost these challenges that were going to come in, well, the petrol, they will tell you, the petrol is not even going to serve our interests again. So looking outside the box was not only federal government. Now, as state governors, what are we looking at? What are we looking at? I always ask them. Are you sitting and talking about VAT? Are you sitting and talking about oil will bring money to you? In your own case, what are you looking at? Nigeria is enriched with so many endowments. In the north here, we have minerals, solid minerals. You can see the attempt to go back to agriculture. You see so many opportunities for people, for the governors. So I expect that if the governors are going to think of getting money from this, it's not money that will be shared as politicians, normal one. It's money that will be reinvested or invested into the states so that it will make more, even more additional revenue for taxes to the federal government. You must also use that money in deploying technology. Somebody mentioned, yes, he left, when he mentioned about the fears, those fears about the percentage, part of it is that they will say that there are no infrastructures. The infrastructures of measuring the yardstick, of measuring the percentage, the states are not there. They are not there in the states. So how do you sit down to know that this is going to be what you have collected, real what you are collecting, and that is the percentage? Those were some of the problems. So I expect that the governors should also be looking at it that way. If the president was bold enough on the subsidy, is bold enough on this issue, then we must be ready to also join in supporting the president, because Nigeria is a federation. Because if one area collapses, it will affect the others. So the answer that was said, because when everything goes like we are doing, everybody was saying President Tinubu is the cost president. Each time we'll say, okay, what about the states? What about the states? The states will also hide under the opinion of people and say, oh, Mr. President, I saw even some governors say it is certain policies that are brought by Mr. President that is affecting them, that is impoverishing the nation. The nation. But I know that it is not true. It is not true, because in various states you have opportunities. If Lagos has an opportunity, if Rivers will have an opportunity, all others have different. God has blessed us with different things. We ran back to our states. I went back to my state. I said, what is it that is going to bring back the revenue? There was the Boribun Jos International Breweries, which was paying salaries in my state. I said, look, let's bring it back. There was Bag Farm, very big farm, the biggest farm, which was sold out. I bought back those farms. I said, let's go back to the Bag Farms. I attempted to rebuild the main market in Plateau State. That market was paying salaries for civil servants. Religion came into it, and it was abandoned. Today, you go back, you find that they are grappling with revenue. Why would you sit down and wait for Mr. President? So it is opportunity, because so that we don't have this kind of conflict and gray areas and start blowing the conflict to the point where a very good policy like tax and tax reform will be thrown out. Will be thrown out. If the president was not a good politician, like I said, if he was another politician, they would just say, okay, the trouble is too much. Let me just withdraw this thing. But president said, no, I will go ahead with it. And his going ahead was not saying that he was insisting. He was saying that I'll go ahead while conversation, dialogue is going.
Continues.
And this dialogue, like I said, has helped us. Even if we're not going to get all, at least we've reached a point where there is an agreement between the governors on some substantial aspect of this tax reform.
But some also think that the governors should not be the determinants of how this bill should end up, because the people, you know, should also have a say, you know, in all of this, such that the National Assembly should call for a public hearing outside what the governors have agreed to find out if the people agree with some of these conditions by the governors. Because, I mean, like you have rightly said, in some states, they don't feel the presence of their governors.
No. The national, they have not said the National Assembly is not going to conduct a public hearing. The aspect of the National Assembly is there. But like I said, all National Assembly members come from their states. Politics is local. That's this, you know that. All politics are local.
Yes, we know that.
Yes, so you have to go back to your state. And when you go back to your state to do dialogue, you are going to do it under the governor. The governor, who is the governor? The governor. Number two, the governors, by the laws of Nigeria, are the advisors on economic matters to Mr. President at the National Economic Council. So they are the advisors. And from what they do is that they collective decisions of their state. And then they come back to tell Mr. President, these are the fears from my state. It's not for him. It's for the state. And by the time you get back, you are talking about voting. You can't vote and say you keep the governor away. The governor must participate in decisions from his state. 3 senators come from the state. I was the governor. Anything they are going to do here, they'll come back and meet me. Mr. Governor, what are we going to do? Even this one that they were doing, my governor invited me to bring all the National Assembly members. We came back to him. And he said, look, I don't know, you people are going to do the voting. This is what we are discussing. How are we going to do this thing? And we told him, yes, it is good that you call us. If you didn't call us, we will go and vote without you. But now that you call us, let you tell us. We also want you to tell us, let's get the collective views of Plateau people. What are they thinking about this loss? And at that dialogue, many people brought out the good. Some people brought out part of the disadvantage of this bill, and we harmonized them together. And when we did that, we gave him the go-ahead. You also go and join your colleagues. Please, this is what we think about this bill. It is good, but let us not be in a hurry to throw it out.
When you talk about dialogue,